Pakistan and Secret Agencies' Role by Ehsan Sehgal. The critique never means that object or subject involves in disloyalty. Conversely, it is, and it should be within the constructive and the improving notion. In this perception, I may have the right to express my views and feelings that I noticed, observed and experienced. Whenever I imagined and attempted to understand the inter-services intelligence of Pakistan, ISI, that demonstrated dissatisfaction as two major Pakistani secret agencies, Inter-Services Intelligence and Intelligence Bureau, which operate to collect the critical information on the security of the state, have been under the biting question about its role in internal and external matters. As a fact, such countries as India and Pakistan suffered and suffer from the lack of its limits of the role and the respect of the international law and the human rights, including the privacy of the individuals within the concept and context of the global peace, and the freedom of the peoples. Is that, drives by the Pakistan Armed Forces, ignore the supreme rule of the democratic constitutional head of the state, whereas, even armed forces itself, fall under that. It is not only the violation of the Constitution, but it is also the rejection of the civilian leadership. In this insight and picture, I feel not hesitated to interpret as such a country, where the servant rules upon its leader and patron. It is a reality, with its bitterness, which leads towards the collapse of all systems of society, that the Pakistani nation has faced since its first introduction of martial law by the General Ayub Khan in 1958, since visibly and invisibly still exists that predictable conduct. One cannot ignore, avoid or deny that Pakistan holds its physical independence. For 70 years, however, in its real concept of the creation and freedom, has been a dream, and abused by its so-called defenders, and own power-mongers. Unfortunately, such figures control and lead the ISI in a wrong direction, beyond its limits and power. Consequently, ISI performed and still performs the role of such a gang that breaks the stability of the main political parties, and promote the unpopular tiny political parties, to gain its power. No doubt, ISI failed and stays failure within its responsibility as the constitutional rule, to secure and defend the state and its people. The failure of the democratic system in the country, directly or indirectly, reflects the role and practices of harassing by that both agencies, without the proof and legal process, even impeding into other institutions that caused the consequences, which became the collapse of the justice system and the accuracy of foreign policy and relationship. As a result, it cost the lack of trust and isolation upon that. The fact and the reality speak within its context that such societies as India and Pakistan, its people have the traditional and cultural nature to spy since their childhood. One may say that, the spy nations by birth. Despite that picture, today, the social media has created and provided a simple and open way for the spying. The international secret agencies benefit that, and with no fear or obligation, violate the international law, including the privacy of the people, and private institutions and its figures. One should not surprise and shock that such spies have been active and involved in important websites. One of those is Wikipedia, where each day happens conflict among such spies, however, so-called editors or contributors. In the civilization, it is a tragedy that one cannot dare to express its feelings. It may abuse God, prophets, sacred figures, however, it cannot speak a word against army generals or the wrong deeds occurred by a few of its ugly officials. In Pakistan, the veteran journalists, top judges, and such other key figures breathe under the ISI spy eyes. Even higher and minister-level personalities are the victim of such conduct. One has to live in such surroundings. Pakistan needs a major cleanup, and reorganization within the present awkward role of the ISI for the international relations and standards, and the peace, including privacy and respect of the notable figures of the society, according to the law.